Good evening, friends. Today, I welcome you all in our second session of Statistical Saturday Club. Every Saturday from 9 p.m. to 10 p.m., we are meeting for this our club, and we will be exploring the statistical concepts using some tools such as Excel and Python, if possible. Today's session we will start with our motivational quote, and that is progress is progress, no matter how small. So whether it is 1% or half percent of your progress, it doesn't matter. Be ready for that you will progress at least 1% for every day. Whatever yesterday you were, please try to make sure that you are better than yesterday for today. So okay, we will start today's meet with a review of the last session. I hope that my screen is visible to all of you. So on 11th November, we have did some background of the why we are doing this statistical club and the overview of the data lifecycle. What are the 8 steps of data lifecycle? You might remember it. Then we looked at the various formats of data storage, such as we can store the data in the form of diagram, we can store the data in form of table, or we can store it in form of graph also. So there are a number of ways we can store the data, and we have seen that there is a format we have seen as a sheet where there is columns and rows are there, and in that format if we store the data where each row is an object. So for each object you will denote one row, and each column will be the attribute of that same object. That data is very powerful and easy for the analysis and the visualization. So it is called as the sheet also, sometimes the data sheet. And to handle this type of data, very basic life, indirectly, whenever there is something relation we see that if you put 10% of the money, then I will get back the 15% as my profit. So that is one type of function. So we are implicitly using that functions in our daily life. We have seen that. Then we have looked at the writing the nested functions, which is called as the formulas. When we will write more than one function in the same cell, we call it as a formula because there are a number of operators and involved. And that how to write it, I hope if you remember, we have taken the example of some formula where inside that we have written two count formulas, and we have been able to the sum of number of entries in two columns. And then we have introduced different types of data. You might remember that when we have formatted the data as a string, when we use the sum function, it has returned only the 0 and not the sum of that integers. Then we have looked at the data cleaning and also the data manipulation. Data manipulation. So in that we have seen that how to clean the data with simple text functions that I will take the review of. And before that we have also seen that what is the absolute cell references and what are the relative cell references, where we have learned to make use of dollar symbol whenever we are copying and pasting the formulas, or we are just simply dragging the formula. At that time absolute cell references and relative cell references are being used implicitly by the Excel, and we learned that. For the data manipulation of, we have learned some formulas, and that we will see for our review in next slide. So here we will see this is our second session, and here we will learn how to use the functions. What are the different uses of the function? We will also learn that how to make use of the Excel utility where we can build the function. And then we will recap on string manipulation. That's why I skipped it before. That we will have recap of string manipulation, what formulas we have learned, and we will also learn some more string manipulation problems and their solutions. And then we will have some algebraic functions, how we can use that. So we'll start our session with what is the predefined functions in Excel. So as I have told you that whenever we are using something like I will get 10% as an interest, that time we are using the formula that whatever the value it is there, we will multiply it by some X percentage divided by the 100, so that we will can able to calculate the our interest, what I might get it on that value. So that is one simple function. So we cannot go back and start defining from some basic functions like sum, count, etc., and work on it every time. That's why some functions has been already defined for you by the Excel, and we can make use of that functions properly whenever we are needed. The second important thing, see, whenever many people do this mistake, that whenever they are starting to learn Excel, they think that everything is like, I need to remember the functions. I need to remember how to use the sum function. I need to remember how to use VLOOKUP function. I need to remember some many complex formulas like count if and ifs that you will learn later on this course. But that is the total wrong approach, I would say. And wrong because, see, you need to have the problem solving skill rather than remembering the solutions. So you need to know that how to do the average. So for doing average, I need the sum of given all numbers and the count of that all numbers. And then you can ask the Google or a friend or someone that how can I do the sum in Excel, so that you will get to know that sum, there is some formula called as sum, which will do the summation of all the numbers given in the range. And there is another formula called count, which we will do the count function. And also, fortunately, after some time, you will also know that there is already pre-built function called average. So you need not to go and build two formulas in single cell and do the division part. You can just simply build one function and you can use it. So please don't focus on the remembering formulas. Please remember that give more focus on building your problem solving skill, how to solve the problem. Then we will use the learn the how to use the formula builder and the help, so that without remembering any formula you can build the formulas. And how can that be done, we will see. Just only a point for those who want to go further in their Excel skills and etc., that you can define your own functions in Excel and Google Sheets. So like if there is no function which you want to do, so like suppose you are in NGO sector and there repeated of time you are getting some data where you want to extract some information, like you want to give, first sum all the numbers and then take the 30% of it and then multiply it by the 8, and repeatedly you want to do that. That time you can build your own formula for that. So that also we will learn later somewhere in point when we get more leisure. Now we will see at how to use the Excel help function and how to make use of that. So here I have opened my Excel and I will create some blank workbook. Uh, Now I want to mm, just a minute. Okay. So now suppose this is my Excel sheet. This is a new cell I have created. And I have just zoomed it so that it will be better visible even on the mobile screen. So now I have selected the cell number C3 and we reference like column and rows. And here I want to build some formula. So here are some numbers I am having. And in this cell, I want the average of all these numbers. But I don't know that which formula to use. In that case, how can I make use of Excel without going to the internet or other tools that we will learn here? There is, if you go to the formula tab, there is one utility called insert function. So now I'm using Excel 2007. You might be using some advanced version of it, and there might be some different option available. Please search for your own different solutions, and I now click to the insert function. Now one window must have been opened. Just a minute. I hope now it is visible. Yes. So now here you can see there is one window which is saying that type a brief description of what you want to do and then click go. So now here I want to take the average. I want to take the average of these four numbers. So I want to take average of some numbers and I will click on the go. Now here you can see the Excel automatically found out the function called average and list all the related functions for you. So these are all the functions related to average: average if, average ifs, average a, d count, d average, median. So because they see that it is defined function, or you can go here and select the category. Suppose you want to calculate the interest, that means it must be in the financial type. So if you go and select financial, there all financial formulas are listed. So now here you can come down with your arrow and you can see that there is something interest rate is available, or internal rate of return is available. So like this, all the function which are related to the finance, they are available. So here I selected average of the numbers. It has selected. I will select this average and I will click OK. After clicking the OK, it is asking for the parameters. Now here it is say that number 1 to 1 are numeric, 1 to 125 arguments. So that means at max 2055 arguments you can give to this number. Here either you can type or you can just simply select all these numbers. Where I have clicked, here one small icon is there which is showing that select cells. There I will click and I will select all the functions. As I already selected, I will select this. Then I will click back to go here and I will click OK. So you see for these, where he can see here as average 2.5, it has been correctly calculated by this way. So now just I want to mention one thing, that is you need not to remember any function or formula while using the Excel. You can just simply remember what I need to do, and that will be demonstrated to you by the Excel. So now we will have one short look at how we can build formulas, and we will have some short review of last time's formula. Okay. So last time we have seen some formulas which were the trim, len, right, left, and mid. So trim it is doing that. It is just removing the unnecessary spaces from the string. So now here many people might get problem that what is the string. So a string, it is just a very sophisticated name. Most of times when you are dealing with computational things, you will come across to this notion of string. Many people will not say as a text, but they will say that string. String is just like a thread. So whenever you are using for your sewing of the clothes, that thread. So one character is like this T. T is one character. This opening braces are one character, closing braces another character. Like there, your keyboard, each keyboard is having either one or two characters which you can type. So this, if you select one character, it is called as character. If you select more than one character, so it is a string of character. So simply it is has been stated that it is a string. So string is nothing but text, and you can define the strings with this double quoted symbol. So whenever I am double quoting the symbol, and closing it. For the Excel, will know that this is a string. So this is a text I want to mention, and this is not a formula. So if I uh, just copy paste this in my Excel sheet, it will simply say that this is a text and will not evaluate it. You got my point? So now last time we have seen the trim function, which is just removing the extra spaces from the given text or the string. Then we have seen the len function. Len function is also a very useful function which returns you the length of the string. So how many characters are there in given cell, that will be returned to you using the len function. We have seen the right function, left function, and mid function to extract the substring or some smaller text from your given text. Suppose you have given Mayur Jayavant Karade. This is my name, and I only want to extract my first name. Then I will select that string, and from the left side, because left is starting position of that string, from left side I will extract the 5 letters Mayur. So left will give me my first name. If I want to extract my last name, I will start extracting from the right side, and I will give the parameter as a text and number of characters I want. And similarly, the mid formula will, you can define from where you want to start extracting. Like for this left as a string, I want to start extracting from the E, and I want to only extract up to EFT. I don't want L. So in mid formula, you can do that by selecting the text. So left, you can start extracting by the second string, because this is a second character. So from second character you start, and you will give the third parameter as a 3, because you want to extract the 3 characters after the second one. If you want to extract only 2, you can give as a 2. So you will get written as EF. One more function which I forgot to mention here, that was we learned as a find. And find will search for a substring in given string. So in this word called recap, I can search for the cap, and the cap, if I use the find function and I search for cap, that function will return me the number 3, because the cap string is starting from the third character, so it will return me the 3. Purposefully I have not given any visualized recap for you, because when I am telling, your mind must going to that formula and remembering it. If you are not able to remember it, please go to the last week's the Excel sheet which has been given for the practice, and practice it once again, so that you will be able to the remembering and imagine these formulas in your mind. So now this here we will look at some more basic formulas and some advanced formulas on the string manipulation only. So related to string, we are going to study these some functions, but as we have seen that our approach is starting from the problem and coming back to the solutions. So we will not start from these functions, but we will see some problems where we can make use of these functions. So let's start doing that, and I hope that my screen is properly visible to all of you. Okay. So now here there is a problem. So there is first problem, it is written below, the data is given above. And the problem is, as per the grammar rule, the first letter of all names should be capitalized. So this Arnav, Sharad, Vaidya, in that as per grammar rule, it should be written like A capital. So I want the output like A capital. Then I don't want this extra spaces, because as per grammar only one space is enough. Then Sharad, and then Vaidya. But I don't want to do this manually, because there are some 100 names are there. In that case, how can I do that? And the second problem is for that in passport office reporting, I need to give my name in every name as capitalized from. So all caps I want in this cell. So how can I do that? So for this, to properly structure this name, we can use a function called a proper. So is equal to proper, and there is formula where it says there is help coming below every formula which you can read. So capitalize each word in a specified string. So we will select this formula and it takes only one parameter, which is called text to capitalize, and then we can select this cell and we can close. Now please think on your own, take 2 minutes or just take 30 seconds. What will be the output? Whether output will be the correct output which we want or something else will be there. Because there are some extra spaces after the or now, whether it will be get removed or it will be kept. Although it is showing the preview of your text, you please ignore it and just think on your own and try to give the solution. And so now here you can see that it is not at all removing these extra spaces. And that's why I have not accepted the suggestion to drag and fill this formula below. So I don't want these extra spaces which I am able to see after the now. So here last week we have learned one function called trim. So we will pass the trim function inside the proper function. So now see, from our second week itself, we have started using the nested functions. So trim will first keep all the characters as a all the characters only lowercase, but just will remove these extra spaces and will return that to the proper function. Then proper function will take that and capitalize the each word by identifying the space and will return to us. So when we paste the enter, now here you can see that it has been properly capitalized each word's first character and removed the extra spaces. Then we can just simply drag drop below. And we can see that for all the names, it has done correctly. Similarly, to do the all upper cases for our passport, we can use the upper function. And again, we know that if we only use the character, it will not work. So again, I need to do the trim and I will just close this. So now here I can see that all text has been capitalized properly. I know that these are very basic formulas. You might be thinking like, why I need to learn that. But there are many people, those who are new to the Excel, and also it will be good recap for you with the basic understanding and the conceptual understanding. So please stick with me and we will try to explore this all concept one by one. Okay, so now we will look at the second problem, because why we are looking at the problems, because many a times if we'll only learn the formulas, that will not be the constructive learning for us. When we see the problem and we put our own thinking in it and then search for something like formula or solution, that learning will be quite strong because you have explored and used your all brain power. Okay, so that's why we are going with this method, that first going to the problem, and whenever you are looking at a problem, even I will give some problems for practice, try to first solve on your own, try your 100 methods, you fail in it, then you will grasp that and you will understand better when you are learning the formulas or we are looking at the solutions. So now here we are having problem. Many a times we have problem when we are arranging seminar or we want to give some people unique code. In that case, we will face this problem. So now here I have imagined, as many of our students are from TDA. So now here the TDA is having some batch. So there are some batches called PDM 23, PDM 22, PCM 2, PIM 1, and PDM 14, etc. And there are some students. These are just imaginatively created students, and I want to create the unique ID for them. And what is the instruction? The instruction should be like the institute name, which we here think that it is TDA. This is just assumed because we have assumed that this is all data from TDA. And then I want the underscore. I want the underscore. Sorry, I want the dash because this institute name is full. Then I want dash. Then I want the batch name. So now here, what is the batch name? PDM 23 dash. Then I want 3 letters of the first name. So for his Mamata, you will see the first 3 characters, which are MAM. So now there are, suppose you have 1000 student like this and you want to create the unique ID, you cannot simply do it manually. And in this case, we can put our knowledge of the functions here. So I will just want to introduce the function called concatenate, which we can use to concatenate, means the join strings such as this PDM23, Mamta, etc. So I'll first demonstrate what is the concatenate function, and then we will demonstrate how we can solve this problem with concatenate. There are two functions. One is short form called concat. It is just a short form of this long word called concatenate. So concat means it will join or concat two values. So if you give more than two parameters, it will not work. So if you want to join only the Mamta and PDM23, it will work. But if you want to join the institute name, batch name, and three letters, it will not work. We will just demonstrate for you. The value one, suppose here it is TDA, and then the second value which I want to join it, PDM23, and then I want to join the first three letters called MAM. Now here you might be able to see that I'm using this double quotes, which are indicating that this is the string started from TD T and ended at A. So now this will be very known to Excel or the Google Sheets that it is a string and not the function. And then I will close this parameter. Here I have not closed the string, that's why it is not colored in green color. So here I will close this string. It's already started saying the red character, but then also we will just put enter. It will say that error is coming because the wrong number of arguments it has got to concat. Only two are needed. So we will remove this MAM, last MAM, and then we will see that it is concatenating, means joining the two string. But I want the dash in between. So how to do that? I can put the dash after the TDA. So now here you can see up to the TDA dash it has joined, and then it has joined the PDM23. But I want to do this for all with dynamic names, with dynamic batch names, because batch names are also changing. The only institute name will be same. How to do that? So for doing more than two joining functions, we will use concatenate. So we will select first TDA as a first parameter. So we will dot TDA dash, that we will join with this PDM23, which is B21. Then we will join the three characters of Mamta. But oh, here is a problem. How to join the three characters, first three characters of the name, student name? In that case, if you can remember very well, if you try to remember, give stress. Last time we have learned, and now we have recapped the formula called left. Left will extract starting three characters. So starting some string. So we can give that as a Mamta as a parameter to the left function. Please try to imagine that we are giving Mamta to the left function and telling to extract, so second argument, that three characters. So it will be function like left, and the string is that Mamta, and the number of characters are 3, and if we close that, we'll get first three characters Mamta. So now we need to use this function inside our function called concatenate, and how to do that I will just demonstrate to you. Is equal to concatenate. You can just make use of select that function and you tab, so it will select for you. No need to write. So first our parameter is TDA, and then I will give I will just close it, because now we can use multiple function. Just for your sake, as this is not little bit, I will just put in mid. I will just start from first starting itself. Is equal to concatenate. The first string is like, we will give the TDA. Then I want the second string as a dash. So I want to join. I can use TDA dash also, but what will happen? This is the best practice, because TDA also you want to change sometimes. Then you can just simply change this with the cell reference. So suppose I have given one more column added with the institute name, that time you can change it. So it's better to keep each and every parameter as a separate one, because the dash is a constant one. It must be, the second argument must be the dash as per our given rule. The second one, what is that? We want the batch name. So we will come here, and batch name is in B21. You might not able to see it. Just simply, so here B21 is a batch name. So we have TDA, then batch name we are given. Then again we want one dash for it, and then we want to concatenate the three character first three characters of the name of the name. So I will just close this here, but it's not visible for you. I will edit this function here for your sake. Okay. So now here we have did vast. Now we want this first three characters of this Mamta, which we can do by function left. Then we will select this Mamta. Then we will select only first three characters. So now this function, you can see this left. This function has been closed here. Now we need to close this parenthesis which has started. So we have closed this parenthesis also. And now we can see that it will be print like TDA dash, institute name dash, then batch name which is in B21. Then it will give another dash, then the first three characters of the first name. So we will give enter. Now you can see it has automatically generated the number, and which you can simply drag and drop below. Now here you can see that dynamically it has created TDA, PDM40 for PIM. It is collecting did the PIM1, and for Sharad it has extracted SHA. So I have given some problems mentioning this problem also. So you can practice on your own that how to do that. And see, please remember that the practice is more important. That whatever you are doing in that case, or how much you are practicing, that is the more important for the learning process. So now here you might be see this problem number 4, and problem number 4. Yes, I hope it is visible. Yes. Yes. So the problem number 4 here we are having is that we have here in the name, first name, that's fine, okay. But then we have the institute of that student. So this Shreyans Patwardhan is learning in TIS. This Aditya Deshpande learning in the Dan Academy. And there is one another our fellow called Akshay Gokhale is studying in APU. So now, but here is some problem. And the problem is, if you see the spelling of academy, it is wrong. What is the correct spelling? It is ACADEMY. So I want this changed for all this occurrence. Now here I have taken as an example only few occurrences. In the real life, it might be 300, 400, or 500. In that case, how to change this? One basic function Excel is having, but we are going to focus more on formula or raw method here. And then later on, we will see what are the additional functionalities of Excel which are available, which are making our life more easy. So there is one utility called find and replace that you can use in such a problems. Just for that time, I will, whenever I'm explaining this utility, I will explain this advantage and disadvantage. Now just remember that it has the global scope. So that scope is in the whole sheet as a default. So you need to change it to the specified range where you want to make changes. Otherwise, suppose this is the part of another text also. Suppose there is spelling called cat and you want to change it to the cut. But you are having the global scope. So that's why when you come here and suppose here you are having one sentence where you are using the letter called concat. So but whenever you are trying to find the cat and replace with the cut, at that times maybe this concat will change to the concut. So please, whenever you are using that utility, just those who know that, those who don't know, I will cover it later for you, don't worry. Those who know that, please, when you are using that, remember that what is the scope in which we are finding and replacing. Okay, coming to the our problem. Now here we don't know any utility. In that case, how to do it for specified cell? I want to change it for only the than academy, and how to do that? Here, if you go and search, or I will just demonstrate for you that I hope I'm visible. So now even Excel also you can do that. So you can go into the insert and there is function. Then you can go to the text. And text, you will see the all the functions which are there. So Arabic is commons Roman numeral, ASC, that you can read all, and even on name itself you will be able to see that there are something replace called replace. Okay, and there is another one function called the substitute, and substitute you will see the description that replaces the string existing text with the new text in a string. So replace function which we have seen here is a comparatively new function. So if you are using some older versions, it might not be available. So that's why most probably we will learn for the substitute function, and then we will go to the learn replacing for the time if we get some opportunity. So here we can use the substitute function is equal to substitute. And see, you need not to be remember because I have closed the help part, but whenever help is on, even in Excel also, the same prompt will come where it will show you what is the function name, what are the its argument, which are the required, what are the arguments which are in the square bracket, those are the optional ones. If you give, no issue. If you don't give, then also it is no issue because there are some default value has been set for that parameter. So the substitute function takes totally 4 parameters. Out of that, 3 are compulsory, and the fourth one called occurrence number is optional. So like that, you need not to remember for that. So now we are in cell number C32. It has been mentioned here, and we have put our formula as a substitute, and then it is asking us for text to search. We are searching in the than academy. So this is the text we want. What we want to search for? We want to search for ACADAMY. I have changed it. I will make it sure that it is changed. And then what? Replace with. With which you want to replace? We want to replace with ACADEMI. Just I will close the bracket. The occurrences is not a part that we will see somewhere in later part. We will explore that. When I click the OK, now you can see the beauty of this formula. As there was already academy, it has nothing changed because it was not able to find the academy, and it has just, without complaining anything or without giving error, it has returned me the same string. But if I drag and drop below, now here you can see there is A here. So it was able to find the academy and it has been replaced. So if I drag and drop below into the point, so wherever there is no point, it will not keep, and wherever there is need, that only has been changed. So that is the beauty of this function. So when we are looking at this, we have learned these functions: lower, upper, proper, and substitute. Please make sure that we have learned these functions. So now next we are having one sort of small problem. So whenever you are taking the rating from somebody, I'll just wrong. So you will ask most of the times, like Zomato will ask you what is the rating, or in an app you will rate it, and many a times for your own projects also you will get this type of data, and you want to visualize it and don't want to show this simply the numbers. So how you can do it? Just for this is for your casualness also, that those who are more aesthetic in the sense and also want to do something good with the data, for them I want to introduce function called a repeat is equal to rept. It is short form of repeat. So what it is doing, the specified text is repeated number of times. So which text you want to repeat? I want to repeat the text X. I want to give the space. Why I'm doing that, I will show you that. And the number of repetitions, I will select this cell, which is B60. So it will get me the value 5. And then I will close this function. And now you can see I will accept this auto suggestion for saving my time. Now you can see that it has been very nicely populated some data, and if you see some small portion, it might see like a graph. So now here I will change X to the pipe symbol. Pipe is available at your above the enter button. If you press above the enter, there is pipe symbol. You need to press shift and then you have to enter it. And if you just drag and drop below, now here you can see that it is giving me a small type of graph. You can change the font so that the distance between this pipe will be closed. So here you will see one horizontal bar in it. Okay, so this was all about the string manipulation, and now we will move to the some basic algebra. Why I'm doing this? Can't we add simply numbers also? And why you are sudden taking so much back? I'll just justify that this basic algebraic manipulation are very keen parts and the points of our day-to-day life. So in that case, whenever you will be learning to the statistics and other advanced tools and techniques, that time these concepts will help you very much. So that for that we will look at some basic algebraic manipulation from starting from subtraction, multiplication, division, and we'll go on to the sum and average and count. These functions we will learn in very short period. So now we will just start with addition. So now how to do the addition, and in this cell you know that if you put double equal to sign, if you select the first number then plus the plus, they select the second number, then you can do the addition. So I have added 3 plus 5. In the same way I can do 3 minus 5, and you are wise enough to know that answer will be minus 2. So this was very quite simple enough. In same way you can do the multiplication 3, the asterisk, it is called as asterisk, or the simple we will say the star. So asterisk a3 asterisk b3, it is like multiply a3 with b3, and you can see it's very common, it is 15. And in same way we can do the division by dividing 5 by 3, and we will get this value. Now I will come to the some manipulations regarding this later on below. So then we are having very important problems called quotient. So what is the quotient? So now suppose here I am doing 5 divided by 5. So here the quotient is 1 because there is no remainder. The quotient is 1 and remainder is 0 for this division. If I select this 7 divided by 5, then there is quotient as 1 and 2 is my remainder. And why I am doing this, you will learn later on when you need to do some calculations regarding the quotient and remainder. So here I can do quotient as a is equal to, and there is a function called the quotient. So quotient, my spelling is wrong. So okay, this 5 I will select, and the second parameter what you want to be as your divisor. So I want to divide by 3, and just I will close it. So my quotient is 1. And what will be my remainder? Remainder will be 2. So that we can calculate remainder is equal to, again we will just a function called here the remainder will not come in mathematical concept we call as a modulo. So for modulo there is short form called mod, which is giving, just here is receiving the remainder of the operator. So we will see that dividend is 5 and our divisor is 3. So you will see that there is a remainder 2. So when you are doing 5 divided by 3, the quotient is 1 and remainder is 2. Now there is something called power. So you need to raise some function. So you need to do the x square. So it's 2 square or 3 square. So I want to raise 3 to the power 5. So I need to do, I want like 3 into 3 into 3 into 3 into 3. So 5 times when I'm multiplying, this is in our normal language we call as 3 raised to 5. That will come 243. How to do here? We cannot type, suppose it's 23. We cannot type for 23 times. So we can do simply, there are two ways. The first one I will show as a operator. So here you can select 3 and then you can say the hat. This hat symbol, it's called hat or vertical, we'll say that greater than symbol rotated 90 degree, but it normally we call it as a hat. Then we will say the 5 and you will get the same answer as 243. In many other programming languages we use the double asterisk for the raising power to the power. And another way we can use it is equal to, there is something called power function. It is just simple function, small short form of the power. And again there is another one function they have defined, those who are not happy with only power. So you can use the power function. Power function is more genuine, means more intuitive. So we will use power function 3 to the power 5. And that is again we will give you the same option. Please remember these things, that you will use the quotient many a times when you want to pack in the boxes. So suppose there is a box which we can only fit 30 identity cards and there are total 247 students. In that case, how many identity cards you can accommodate with if I am having only 8 boxes? So in that case, I need to see that if I divide the 247, so I want to see that what will be my quotient if I divide 247 with the, so you can fulfill all 8 boxes completely and then you can check what will be my mod. So then it will show you that it is 30. So this is very simple problem, but many a case you will see the complex problems later on, that it will be useful to using this power, quotient and remainder. Okay, I'll just clear my previous. Okay, so now here if you see I have just this taken extracted the data from one of our TDS student. And in this data, there are some problems. The first problem is that if you see carefully, when I was tracking, there are some missing places are there. And if I come here, there is another missing place. I want to know, this is called as the missing values. It is very important at first step, many a times of data analysis, to first remove this missing data. And this missing data, either you can remove the cell or you can find the data and fill it there, or there are some techniques where which you can just give the, or just infer the that value for that cell. So here I want to introduce how to find that whether this all data is okay or not, or whether there are some blank cells in data or not. So here I will introduce you the function called count. So count function is simply what it's doing. If you have the values like 1, 2, 3, and if you choose the formula called count is equal to count, then it will just simply count these three values. But you see, this count function is made for the numerical values. So if I say A, B, and C, and if I change this formula with count, and then I select these three, you can say that it is saying 0 because there are no numerical values. So for counting the numerical values, uh, to be more precise, counting the non-empty values, you will say that's count A. Now count A will count whether it is number or text, whatever it is. If the cell is having something, it will count for you. So it will not change if the all text are there, or whether I change this to the 0, then also it will change to the there. If I change B with some inverted comma, then also it is saying 3 because there are, it is inverted comma is there, is not visible. Or maybe I will change this parenthesis, it is counting the same. If I delete this cell, then only it is not counting because this is the empty cell. Now I want to count how many empty cells are there. At that time, what can I do? I will just select count, and rather than count, I will use function. If you see very carefully, it is here called count blank. So count blank will count the number of empty cells, as here is one cell empty. If I fill it with B, you see again it comes to the 0. If again I just delete this and this value, you can see now here are two empty cells are there. So now this you can use knowledge here. You can use the is equal to count blank, and then you can select this whole range which you want to count. I'm just selecting my shift and upper arrow, so it will be selecting my uh, range, and then I will just close the bracket and I will enter. So there are one empty cell is there. Then I will drag drop this formula. We have learned about the relative cell reference. Here we are using relative cell reference while we are dragging horizontally, and you can see that in the religion column there is no empty cell. Here one empty cell is there, here one, here one, and here one. So there are one empty cells which you can identify, and later on we will learn how to do identify some empty cells using either the filter function or the conditional formatting function to identify these cells, but that is something advanced and we will learn it later. Now for it is okay. Now there are some questions based on this given data above. Here you want to calculate the income of all respondents. Here are some respondents, and in the last column there is given the monthly income. So whatever their monthly income it is calculating, please ignore if there is empty. It will be supposed as a 0. So how to do that? It's very simple. You can use the sum formula. As many of the people, those who will learn the Excel, might first time will learn the formula, which is the sum formula. So I will select just this whole range. I did now with Control Shift and upper arrow. For selecting, you can, if you are select downside, you can select Control Shift and downside arrow. So now here it has correctly computed the total number of all total income of all respondents cumulatively. But now I want what is the maximum income. So many a times when you are learning the uh, descriptive statistics, that time you need to calculate that what is the range of this your input, what is the maximum, what is the minimum, what is the interquartile range. At that time you can use this function. So now here I can use the function called max, and I will select again this range. I will close it. I will enter. So now there is same value. This is called 59,000, around 59,000, around 60,000 is the maximum income in this range we can see. For saving my time, you can see that now here all these operations I am doing on the same range, and if the range is very complex, then it is very tedious task. So later on we will learn that how to do it very easily when you are doing the multiple times. Now here for very easy formula, we will just do the simply trick of copy pasting this formula, and then changing is because I want to know the minimum, it is just inverse of the maximum. There is only 1000 and 1100, 1100 rupees the lowest income. And similarly, to find the average income of the remainders, there is a formula called average. So we'll see this, we'll just first paste this function, and then we'll change max to average. Here is average. You can do simply tab and enter. So now it has been automatically selected as this. Because I did some earlier formatting here, now I will show you in this cell. If I just copy paste the same formula in the cell number, yes, F100. Now you can see some different output. Why? I will just explore you in minimum time. Now here it is coming up to the 4 decimal accuracy. It has been calculated. So now you know that average, many times average gets calculated in accuracy of the decimal places. But now what is the problem? I'm now calculating the average, and I don't want average. Can I give this 137 paisa to anyone? I cannot give. So I want it to be more precise, and to show that I am very keen on the details, up to only 1 decimal digit. And how to do that? So there are 2 ways by which we can do this. The first way is that here, if you can see, there is dot zero symbol, which is for decrease the decimal places. And here it is showing increase the decimal places. And Excel home bar also you will get these two functions which are related to the formatting, which we have not seen. So far we have not seen any Excel functionalities which has been offered by the function. We are just simply looking at the data and their operations with with the help of functions. We will have some separate function session for looking at the various functionalities and how they are making our life easier. So here you can learn one formula called round. What is the round formula is doing? A round formula will limit the number of decimal places. So if I select the value, and if I just close it without any parameter, because here you can see whenever I'm looking round, it is showing places in bracket. So it is optional argument. If I don't give, no worries, it will be selected as a 0. So if I give the my comma 0, it will give me the same output. So default value for the places is 0 in round function, but I want up to the 1 decimal place. So I will select 1, and it will give me the rounded operation up to the 1 decimal places. Okay. So this is the use of round function, which many a times you will use in your daily life. Okay, so now I am having a small budget. Actually, this is the budget I prepared for one of the project, my event. So this is a real life example. This is some, I want to print some banners of 3 by 4 feet. The units 300 banners I want to print, and unit cost tentatively takes around 100 rupees, and it is 30,000 rupees. So many a times what happens, if your boss is very keen on this heading budgets, those who are working in the sector, you might know that, then you might want to give him as a overall budget, so that within the heads you can do the change, so that instead of here 30,000 spending and 8,000, you might spend here 32,000 and here 6,000. But I want to give my boss as a total budget. So what is the total budget? I will select this all here is equal to, and do the sum of this all, because this is my Excel is already selecting for me everything. Just I will do. This Google Sheet is now more and more getting automated. So now here I will sum this whole, and this is my budget, but it has dependency. If I remove this column, this cells, it will be again zero because it is depending on that function. And we can do this copy pasting of function, like copy, and I will paste in same cell with paste special values only. So now even if I delete this, the values will not change. But what if now I revise this budget with this 12, this 12, I want to change it to now 10, but this will not change. This has not changed. And a reason is that because it has been now become static and no functional dependency are there. So in that case, to solve this problem, we will introduce you the more formula called as a sum product. Sum product. So what is the sum product? Sum product, as the name defines, it is the product and the sum of that all the products. So it will take the two arrays. So this is the first array, and there is second array, and we'll multiply it with that array, and we'll return to you. So now here first we will select the units array, units. Then we will select the second array, and then we will just close the bracket. Now you can see that it has been changed. If you again this change 10 to the 12, then you might get this 1,64,800. Why it is important? Because you might know now data science and your all this artificial intelligence, machine learning is depending on the statistics and mathematics. So this is called as the matrix. This is 2 by 2 matrix, and I want to multiply this matrix by this another metric. This metric called many times A multiplied by B. And those who are from the mathematical background, they might know that how to calculate this. So this will result in 2 by 2, where I need to take the dot product of this first column and the first row, and I need to repeat it for the all four cells. So this matrix multiplication can be done where I can select this is equal to sum product of this array and multiplying it with this array. So now you see that this both arrays are different in shape, but it will calculate. Oh, sorry. So this 178 and okay. So now it will need another function which is called transpose, and then you need to select this function, and then you need to use it. So now because you need to just make it as a vertical one to understand the numbers. So that part apart, but this is very useful function when you are doing this matrix multiplication, etc. Like it's called scientific computing in the Excel. So coming back, I will just before we close, we'll just have one short recap with what we have learned today. So now we have did the string manipulation recap where we have seen the trim, len, right, left, mid, and the find function. And today we learned the lower, upper, proper function, concatenate function, substitute, and the repeat function. Then we have looked at some basic algebraic functions like sum product, count A. So now count, remember, is counts only numerical values. Count A counts numerical as well as text or any other values, except those are the blank. And count blank only counts the blank cells. The average will calculate the average, max will calculate the maximum value in the range, min will calculate the minimum value in the range, and the round will limit the decimal places of your given value or your division. And we have learned some algebraic operators like the asterisk for the multiplication, the slash, it's called the backward slash for the division part, the hat for the power, and two more functions called the quotient and the remainder for doing this division uh, part. So now we will stop here for today. And if you have any queries, you please reach out to me. We are having a WhatsApp group which you can join by the arrow has been given as this video starting, and also I will put in the description also, so you can join by that. And thanks for joining this session, and happy learning for you all. Thank you so much. Just one more thing to mention. I have been posted this all related to practice problems in the group. Please go there and solve the similar kinds of different problems I have created for you to practice it. Just practice those problems before you come to the next session, so that it will be helpful for you to understand the concept and remember it. Okay, thank you, and happy weekend for you. Happy learning process. Thank you so much.